The reality underneath the maple leaf Canada is known for its breathtaking landscapes and modern, welcoming cities. But there's a side to this country that goes beyond the postcard image. Every day, over 4 million Canadians, about 10% of the population, face choices that should be unthinkable in such a wealthy nation. Behind closed doors, poverty means someone is skipping a meal so they can cover the rent, foregoing heating to buy necessary medicine, or worrying about eviction even after a lifetime of hard work. Poverty here touches all corners of society. Indigenous communities experience poverty rates far above the national average. Newcomers to Canada arrive full of hope but often face major hurdles: jobs that undervalue their experience, sky-high rents, and rising living costs that outpace any salary. Many seniors on small pensions watch savings evaporate as monthly bills pile up. Young people, especially those out of school or facing unstable work, risk getting left behind before adult life gets going. Households led by single women and people with disabilities are forced into impossible trade-offs at every turn. A surprise medical bill or sudden loss of work can push any family over the edge. Across the country, living costs have steadily risen. In cities like Toronto and Vancouver, rent and groceries can consume entire paychecks, even for those working full-time. More jobs are now part-time or temporary, with wages that barely cover the basics. Social support exists, but complicated forms, long wait times, and lack of information keep many from accessing help. As a result, those who need support most are often left to figure things out on their own. For millions, living in poverty means facing hard decisions every single day. People choose between eating well and heating their homes, or go without medical care because a prescription simply isn't affordable. Nearly 1 in 10 Canadians say they haven't received the health care they needed because of financial reasons, leading to more illness, isolation, and everyday stress. Yet there are many examples of resilience. Communities join forces, food banks, neighborly support, and Indigenous-led projects build hope where it's needed most. Government actions have shown that real progress is possible. Programs like the Canada Child Benefit, senior supplements, and other targeted support have, at times, reduced poverty in noticeable ways. During the pandemic, emergency income supports pushed hardship down, but when they ended, poverty quickly rose again. This made clear that Canada's social safety net still has serious gaps and lasting change is needed, not just short-term measures. Almost all experts agree real solutions are possible. Canada can expand and modernize its benefits to match the reality of today's living costs, invest in more affordable housing, make it much easier for people to access the support they need, and offer better mental health care and job training, especially for the most at-risk populations. While Canada's image around the world is one of well-being and opportunity, the daily struggles of millions must be part of the national conversation. Talking honestly about poverty isn't just about numbers, it's about people, dignity, and a country's responsibility to all its residents. Beyond the statistics and policies, it is crucial to understand the human stories behind the numbers. Take, for example, the elderly woman who has worked her entire life but now lives in a small, poorly insulated apartment. Struggling to keep warm during harsh Canadian winters, she cuts back on food to afford heating bills, sacrificing her own nutrition so future generations won't inherit her hardship. Or look at the young man recently graduated, full of potential, living paycheck to paycheck because the job market offers mostly part-time work without benefits. His dreams for stability feel more distant every month as rents rise and job security diminishes. Another major factor worsening poverty in many areas is mental health. Financial stress, lack of access to proper health care, and social isolation often lead to depression, anxiety, and other disorders, which then become barriers to finding stable employment or improving one's situation. In many communities, mental health resources are scarce or too costly, further entrenching the cycle of poverty. Moreover, the geographic disparities add an extra layer of complexity. Rural and remote communities, especially Indigenous reserves, higher poverty rates, poorer access to services, and lower employment opportunities. In these areas, infrastructure deficits, lack of transportation, and fewer educational resources mean poverty is not just a personal issue, but a systemic challenge, rooted in history and ongoing marginalization. Addressing poverty requires a multi-layered approach. It's not enough to focus solely on financial assistance. Education and skill development must be priorities so people are equipped to participate in a changing economy. Affordable quality childcare can allow parents, particularly single mothers, to work or study. Accessible healthcare, including mental health services, must be available to all Canadians, regardless of income or location. Grassroots initiatives often provide the missing piece, supplementing government programs and advocating for change from the bottom up. From local co-ops providing affordable food options to Indigenous-run empowerment projects, these efforts spotlight the importance of community and culturally sensitive solutions. This is not just a social issue, it's an economic imperative. Poverty drains potential and productivity from the entire country. Every Canadian deserves a chance not just to survive, but to thrive. Highlighting and solving poverty will protect the health of the economy while strengthening social cohesion, reducing crime, and improving overall well-being. If you've learned something new here, or feel moved by these stories, remember, you have the power to make a difference. Share this video and start conversations. Like and subscribe so more people hear the real story of poverty in Canada. And let's push for policies that reflect the needs and dignity of everyone. Canada can be a nation where no one is invisible, no one is forgotten. Together, through awareness and action, we can build a future where opportunity is truly for all.